if you're not contributing to your 401k today, start immediately. And at a minimum, contribute as much as your employer will match. That's free money, 100% return. It's the best investment you can make, and your employer's paying that portion.
Help us visualize between, the Ruben example and the Jason example, right? There's one who's putting down the quintessential 20%. How does it look like, instead of taking that, that money, that 20% on my Bank of America account, how would that look like if I'm working with you? Do I have that money sitting through that IRA, and then I call you up and I say, or your custodian up and I say, hey, look, I got this homeowner contract. I want to invest this amount. Do you slap me on the wrist and say, nope, sorry, that's too much for this year? Like, tell us a little bit about the limitations that we might face, whether I'm buying $1 million home or $100,000 home, how much I can contribute to it. I know it's a loaded question, but I think that would help us a little bit more bring it home together, because I think most of us can kind of relate of, okay, yeah, buying a home, putting 20% down, what would it look like on the good guy who's following what Jason is telling him, and what would it look like for his neighbor who's simply not aware, who's just as wrong as the guy who doesn't know, right?
Yeah, and it's a great question, because it is important to understand purchase power, right? How do I do this, the blocking and tackling? So the first thing I'll start with is IRAs. There are different types of retirement accounts. You have 401ks. Those are employer plans. So your employer has to offer you that program, all right? You can save into those. The contribution limit, I think, is $19,000 a year, and then your employer can match. Those are great plans. I would encourage anyone listening, I don't care what you do with the money, stocks, bonds, or whatever. If you're not contributing to your 401k today, start immediately. And at a minimum, contribute as much as your employer will match. That's free money, 100% return. It's the best investment you can make, and your employer's paying that portion. So that's my little, I'll get off that little soapbox, but I want to make sure everyone takes full advantage of that, because unfortunately only about 50% of employees do.
Yeah, and I want to just piggyback that for a second, just so we anchor this point in. The $19,000 is max, but let's say you have a great employer who's going to match the half of that, or double the amount. Does that mean that all of a sudden I'm sitting on 38,000 now automatic? Well, if they're matching, is that the reality? And with that,
yeah, but if your employer is matching $19,000, never leave that employer. I don't. That's
right. This is like best case scenario, guys. Like, yeah, matter of fact, DM me and I will try to find a way to.
Exactly. I need a new career, and I feel like I've got a good one today. The matching typically is a match of your contribution against your salary up to a certain percentage. So, but yeah, you may put in 19 and they may put in 5 or 7. I mean, that would be incredible. That's a great return. But getting money into 401ks is really through your employer. That part I can't help you with, and I can't really do anything with the money while you're still an employee. When you leave that company, I can take that money into an IRA. There is no limit on how much of your existing 401k you can move to me. So if you've saved, Ruben, for the last 10 years, 19 grand a year plus earnings, and you got 300 grand, when you leave that company, you can move that 300 grand from your existing 401k to an IRA with me. No tax, no penalty.
Experiment Nation, thank you for watching another video. If you found it to be super helpful and insightful, one that you can take action on, and you'd like to receive more blueprints, more experiments that you can apply in your lab, make sure you text me at my community number personally at 678-679-5613. Write out my number, guys, 678-679-5613, and we'll send you more practical, actionable blueprints so that you can have success in your lab. We'll see you on the other side.